Imagine a man so feared, that his very name silenced rooms. A giant of a man, physically imposing, violent, and the leader of a gang of bandits that terrorized the Nile Valley in the 4th century. Now, imagine that same man becoming one of the most beloved symbols of peace, humility, and radical forgiveness in history. This isn't a movie script. This is the life of Saint Moses the Black. Born in 330 AD, Moses began his life as a servant to a high-ranking government official in Egypt. But Moses had a temper, and a level of strength that was nearly impossible to contain. After being dismissed for suspected theft, and even murder, he didn't just disappear. He went big. He fled into the desert and organized a gang of 70 bandits. For years, he was the king of the wasteland. He was known for his ferocity, his cunning, and his absolute lack of mercy. Legend says Moses was looking for a place to hide after a botched robbery when he stumbled upon the Monastery of Scetis, deep in the Egyptian desert. He intended to rob the monks, but something stopped him. He encountered a piece of the Desert Fathers, men who had nothing, yet possessed a joy he couldn't understand. The man who lived by the sword was suddenly cut to the heart by their silence. He didn't just leave. He stayed. He fell at the feet of the abbot and begged to be allowed to join them. But conversion wasn't an overnight fix. Moses struggled. His old life hunted him. One night, 4 bandits attacked his cell. Big mistake. Moses, still possessing his legendary strength, overpowered all 4, tied them up, and slung them over his shoulder like sacks of grain. But instead of killing them, he carried them into the chapel and asked the elders, "What should I do with these?" The monks told him to forgive them. Moses released them, and the bandits were so moved that they also converted and joined the monastery. As Moses once said, humility is the net that catches the grace of God. Perhaps the most famous story of Moses happened years later. A brother at the monastery had committed a fault, and the other monks called a meeting to judge him. When Moses refused to attend, they insisted. He finally showed up, carrying a leaking basket filled with sand on his back. When the monks asked what he was doing, he replied, "My sins run out behind me, and I do not see them, and today I am coming to judge the errors of another." The monks, humbled by his words, immediately forgave the brother. In the year 405 AD, word reached the monastery that a group of invaders was coming to attack. Moses, now 75 years old, told the younger brothers to flee. When they asked why he wouldn't join them, he replied, "I have waited for this day for many years, so that the word of Christ might be fulfilled, all who take the sword, will perish by the sword." Moses and 7 others stayed behind. They greeted the invaders with open arms and no weapons. They were martyred that day, choosing the path of peace over the violence that had once defined his life. Saint Moses the Black proves that no one is too far gone. He transformed from a man of blood to a man of God, leaving behind a legacy of radical nonviolence and extreme humility. He is a reminder that your past does not define your finish line.